Welcome back to Grow Joyfully. I finally got some time, made some time to do the second installment of pantry inventory, prepping, self-sustainability, and food storage. I decided that I wanted to start with grains, and the reason I did that is because I think grains are a real staple in our lives, and you have to start somewhere. So today we're going to discuss grains, and the first topic in the topic of grains that we will discuss is wheat berries. This is a golden wheat. I have it vacuum sealed, and this is from 2022. Okay, so now you see what wheat berries look like. Let's learn about wheat berries. So wheat berries, what are they? Why store them? And how long can I store them? Wheat berries have a remarkable shelf life. Grain has been found by archaeologists in Egyptian tombs that are still healthy and viable. Just think of how many thousands of years they've been tucked safely away. Now that kind of grain probably would be like an einkorn or something like that, not something that we use nowadays, not like the golden wheat. Wheatgrass is widely cultivated for its seed, a cereal grain that is a staple food around the world. The many species of wheat together make up the genus Triticum. The most widely grown is common wheat. Just a few facts I'll throw in here and there. A bushel weight of wheat is 60 pounds. How many types of wheat are there? There were differing opinions. One, I came up with 8 or so. It was divided into things that we might necessarily use or that are not very common. So in the United States, there are 6 types or classes of wheat. These include hard red winter, hard red spring, soft red winter, hard white, soft white, and durum. Wheat berries are also categorized into 2 color categories, red and white. Color does not impact the bakeability of the wheat berry, but it does impact the final taste. Red wheat berries. Often hard red wheat berries are the go-to for yeast breads. Red wheat, hard or soft, will have a nuttier, whole wheat flavor. White wheat berries have a milder flavor than red wheat. Soft white wheat is a popular choice for pastry flour because the taste will not compete with the other flavors in the cake or pastry. If you have a picky eater in your household, a white wheat berry may be the way to go. A lot of this information is coming from Farm Fresh Wheat, and another one is the Perfect Loaf. Let's continue to go and learn some more information about each one of them. So in the classes of wheat, hard red winter wheat has its roots firmly planted in the Great Plains states like Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Colorado, and Nebraska, and is scattered a bit in other states as well. It is great for bread and all-purpose flour. It's versatile with excellent milling and baking characteristics for pan bread. Hard red winter wheat is also a choice wheat for Asian noodles, hard rolls, flatbreads, general purpose flour, and cereal. Okay, we have hard red spring, such as Montana, South Dakota, North Dakota, and Minnesota. It is called the aristocrat of wheat when it comes to designer foods like hearth rolls, breads, croissants, bagels, and pizza crust. Hard red spring wheat is also a valued improver in flour breads. Okay, then we have soft red winter. Soft red winter wheat is found mostly east of the Mississippi River. For you cookie monsters out there, this is the wheat for you. This is a great weak gluten, low protein wheat with excellent milling and baking characteristics for cookies, crackers, pretzels, pastries, and flatbreads. Then we have soft white wheat. West Coast represent. Soft white wheat calls the Pacific Northwest, Washington, Oregon, and Idaho, its home. This low moisture wheat with high extraction rates creates a whiter product, making it ideal for mouth-watering cakes, pastries, Asian-style noodles, and Middle Eastern flatbreads. Then we have hard white. This is the newest class of U.S. wheat. Hard white shares its territory with hard red winter wheat, but is grown on a much smaller scale. This class is great for Asian noodles, tortillas, flatbreads. Hard white wheat receives an enthusiastic review when used for whole wheat or high extraction applications, like white whole wheat pan breads. And then there's the classification of durum wheat. Durum wheat is best for pasta. It grows primarily in Montana, North Dakota, and with a smidge grown in Arizona, California, and South Dakota. Durum wheat has a high protein and as a result a high gluten content that is perfect for pasta and couscous and some Mediterranean breads. Durum is the hardest of all wheats and has a rich amber color. This information came from eatwheat.org. Storing wheat berries. Wheat berries can be stored in a cool, dry, and dark place in an airtight container to protect them from moisture, pests, harmful air, and light. Some recommend storing wheat berries in a pantry, while others avoid areas with high humidity or fluctuating temperatures like garages. I just want to stop for a minute and talk about storing your wheat in the garage. First of all, I don't think many of us have the room to store our wheat in the house. Some people do. They'll take a bedroom and turn it into a storage area. I have some in my hallway. I've tried to use a lot of my space for storing food. But we do store most of our wheat out in the garage. Now, Pam from Rose Red Homestead, and I'll try to remember to put this up on the screen, she lives in a very hot area in Utah. And they have always had to store their wheat out in their garage where it's very hot. She says, and she's got her doctorate in, I believe, food sciences, somewhere along like that. And she conducts really great tests on food and has a great body of information to back up the things that she says. So she's quite scientific if you want to go and check out her channel. And that's Rose Red Homestead, and Pam is her name. So she keeps her wheat in her garage, and we have to too. So this is all very good suggestions. These are good suggestions, but people can't always store their food, especially their wheat berries, in the perfect conditions. So I'll go on with this. The ideal temperature is between 50 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit. This person here who's writing this says, I have to store my wheat in the garage, and I know that many people do. How long will wheat last in storage? Similar to corn, the shelf life of wheat berries is about 8 to 12 years when stored in an airtight container in a cool, dry place. Now, both myself and Pam, our places aren't cool that we're storing it, but we have them in airtight containers. And our weather's very dry and hot. It's not humid, hardly ever. So here's a suggestion. If you're worried about your wheat, sometimes you get these lids on these 5-gallon buckets that are hard to get off. But it is a very good idea to take the lids off occasionally and check your wheat for it going rancid, for pests, for what have you. Make sure there's no moisture in there, so that it's not molding. And before I forget, I'm going to throw this in. I might read it again down here farther. But a lot of people will put a bay leaf or two in the bottom of their 5-gallon buckets, and that helps to repel pests, and it does work. Okay, here was a little section that I thought was interesting. How do I use wheat berries? Well, to me, the only way I've ever known to use wheat berries is to grind them and make flour for bread. But this was interesting that they said wheat berries, also known as hulled wheat kernels, are versatile and can be eaten in many dishes for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. I think it would take some getting used to, and your body would be saying, oh, what's this? But if you started slowly and with small amounts, you could work this into your 3 meals a day, and it would be really good for you. So it says in this, they use them in salads. Use cooked wheat berries like you would barley, quinoa, or rice. They pair well with creamy roast squash, fall herbs, and apple cider vinaigrette. Soups and chilies. Add cooked wheat berries to soups or chili, or use them as a meat substitute in chili. Okay, good to know, especially in a time where you don't necessarily have any meat in the house and you need to use a substitute. Breakfast. Eat wheat berries with yogurt, fruit in breakfast casseroles, or make breakfast porridge. I know that my husband spent some time in Japan, and they were encouraged to eat cracked wheat every morning for breakfast because as Westerners, they needed that kind of fiber in their diet because I guess the Japanese maybe not have that same amount or different sources of fiber. Here's a side dish. You can serve hot cooked wheat berries with mushrooms. For snacks, eat plain cooked wheat berries with olive oil, sea salt, and black pepper. Okay, you could probably roast those. I don't know. Other dishes, mix wheat berries with dried fruit, use them in breads, or add them to risotto or pilaf. And this information came from Bob's Red Mill. Contrary to popular belief, the wheat berries do not require an overnight soak before cooking. Just came from eating well. Never rinse your grains if you plan on milling them, grinding them, or storing them. You don't want to get them wet. So only if you're going to immediately cook them is the only time that you'd rinse them. Not all wheat berries are equal. Hard wheat berries are best for yeast breads, while soft wheat berries are perfect for quick breads. I think sometimes the kind of wheat that we get at the stores is more of a tried and true all-purpose. So you don't have to worry about running out and getting hard red wheat, soft white wheat, what have you. There's this big farm around here that grows a lot of wheat, and they would sell 5-gallon buckets. No, maybe they were 4. Anyway, whatever they were. I can't even remember how much they were selling them for, but it was a good price. I think it was $24, and that was 2 years ago. And they suggested that you buy the soft white and the hard red, just for those 2 different purposes. If you get too many different kinds going and you're new at all this, you're going to confuse yourself. So I would suggest you just stick to something simple. Okay, here's that place again where it says, use a dry bay leaf in the bottom of your storage containers and it will repel pests. Okay, this gal from Farm Fresh Wheat has suggested that the closest you'll get to an all-purpose mixture of flour to use, that is the best, is to mix a 2-to-1 mix, 2 parts of red wheat and 1 part of white. This can substitute just about any recipe calling for the all-purpose without worry of the bread coming out too dry or not rising. Because if you're not careful, you can make your wheat bread super, super duper heavy. How much flour does 1 cup of wheat berries make? Roughly 1.5 cups. You can mill wheat berries into flour using an electric or a hand crank wheat grinder. You do need some sort of grain mill. You can get them on Amazon for just the hand crank ones. Be careful with the ones that are coated with aluminum and different things that it will slough off. You want to get a decent quality one. Or if you know someone, you have a friend who has one, maybe you can ask her to grind some up for you, and then you can do something for her and then change services, trade services back and forth. You mill the wheat berries. You can, for an electric grain mill, empty the mill, turn it on, set the grind to its finest setting, add the wheat berries to the hopper, and adjust the grind to a coarser setting. Depending on the mill's speed and capacity, you may need to let it cool down halfway through milling to prevent overheating the flour. So I firmly suggest that when you do get a wheat grinder, that you read the instructions thoroughly and make sure you follow that. Lastly, I have provided a wheat bread recipe that I just kind of throw together and use. Again, when you're making your wheat bread, especially when you're first starting, I would have more white unbleached flour to the amount of wheat flour, because it can be heavy. It can be, it's going to be new and different to work with. So you just got to experiment. You just got to do it. Just get in there and do it. So I am going to include the wheat bread recipe, and this is probably all that I'm going to cover in this second installment of prepping, food storage, and self-sustainability. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, please put them down in the comment section below. I strongly feel that we need to be as sustainable as possible. I don't care who you are, what goes on, what's happening. It's only smart to have food put away in your home so that if the electricity went out, or who knows what happened, the supply chain has been interrupted, or you lose your job, which happens, and even if you're just homesick and you can't get out to grocery shop, you should have some food in your pantry put away so that you would be fine for at least a week, and ideally a month, 2 months, 6 months, a year, and etc. How secure do you want to be? You decide. That's how much food you put away. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful. Please like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day, and don't forget to do it joyfully. We'll see you next time. Thanks for stopping by. Here's an afterthought. A lot of people have been into sprouting things like beans, wheat, alfalfa, different things for a long time. And then it got me to thinking about, are wheat berries sprouted good for you? And this is what I found on Google. Wheat berry sprouts can be very good for you. The sprouting process. Sprouting wheat berries can increase their health benefits. The sprouting process makes nutrients more available to your body to absorb, and it makes the wheat easier to digest. Sprouting also creates vitamin C, which isn't present in stored wheat, so keep that in mind. Nutrients. Sprouted wheat berries are rich in nutrients like fiber, protein, vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. They also contain folate, iron, zinc, and magnesium. Sounds like a good thing to have. Sprouting wheat berries can be good for your gut microbiome and reduce phytic acid, which can help your gut. So I just thought I'd throw that in. I'm going to try sprouting some wheat berries. It's very good for you. And here's to your health. Don't forget to keep adding your information to your preparedness binder.